Alright, here we are for round number one. We're playing against Tiny Tim. I don't really know what he's been playing. I know he was just complaining about playing against Burn. So, he doesn't get to complain this time. I'm not playing Burn, that's for sure. This hand is pretty good. It's got one removal spell. Unfortunately, we have some of our kind of bad cards, but we can just Justice on 4 to kill things, and I like having the bounce lands on the play, so I will keep this. I'm going to lead off with a snow-covered island. It's going to hopefully confuse my opponent about what I'm playing. Okay, he's playing that white-black deck. This should be a great matchup for us. I am just going to run out the Aqueduct. I don't really want to hold up Prohibit this turn. I can't really think of anything that he would play that I would really care about, and there's nothing I can really do next turn. If I hold up Prohibit this turn, I'm going to be stuck on only one land next turn. This deck, again, like I said, doesn't really have anything that I care about that much, so I'm probably just going to run out this Tome right away. Disfigure's a nice one. I just want to get the Tome down while I can. Next turn I'll be able to Disfigure and hold up Prohibit or Agony Warp. Yeah, let's do that. See what Tiny Tim's got for me. Oh man, so Palace Sentinels are a huge beating for our deck, so I do need to make sure that I hold up Prohibit for those. I don't really care about the Rift Watcher, it just kills itself. It's not a big deal at all. Exclude is a great draw, so got our island. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do this turn. I'm going to take the damage from these guys, I believe. Just so I can, okay, played a tap land, so now I don't have to worry about Palace Sentinels. Should not do this before attacks, probably. So, I do have to decide if I want to Agony Warp here. I think I won't. I'm going to let this Aven Riftwatcher die on its own. But I might just, Alright, sorry, it's chatting with him, so I do have to decide. I would still kind of like to hold up Exclude, I think. And I think I'm going to let the Riftwatcher die on its own. But I am going to disfigure this Inspector. Alright. It is a little unsafe. I can't counter a 3-drop unless it's a creature, but to be honest, I'm not really worried about any 3-drops that aren't creatures. I do have a Capsize if I need to. Here's another creature that just kills itself. I think I'm going to let this resolve and maybe just Agony Warp next turn. No, I should probably Exclude so I can hit my land drop. If I had like a card draw spell or something else to do, I would not worry about that thing, but yeah, so it was a good thing I did it because now I got to hit my land drop. The reason I don't care that much about these is they only deal 4 damage before they just kill themselves. So I'm not worried about them at all. So let's see if this is a Palace Sentinels. Yep. I could almost let this resolve just because it'll mill him so much faster. He'll be going through 4 cards a turn, but that's still 10 turns that I have to deal with. So 3 Palace Sentinels down. I do have to worry also about, I assume he's playing Thorn as well. Alright, so we missed. But I just gonna hold up my teachings here. I'm assuming he's got some removal spells in this deck. I mean, he's got a Disfigure there and a Pestilence. This cards are not very good against us. Aven Riftwatcher resolves, of course. I'm gonna go grab another Exclude with my teachings on this turn. So life total doesn't matter for them at all. Let's go ahead and grab an Exclude. Yep. Exclude is good. That's an amazing draw. That's the best draw on our deck right here. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this Swamp, I think. I can represent a little more if I, like I can Agony Warp and represent Counterspell. Even though I obviously don't have it. Just want to represent things. Be nice if you could draw some of these Wall of Hopes. I wouldn't mind seeing those. Nice Whisper is fine, just gets him a little closer to milling. The only cards I really care about are the Monarch ones. Anything else just doesn't really matter to me. Alright. Take some damage. Again, I don't really care about this thing. Our opponent, he's not really playing burn spells other than the Pestilence is like the most burny of any of his burn spells. And I'll be able to Teachings to counter that probably at some point. So we got through half our opponent's deck. Let's see what Tiny Tim has got for us. So there's all the... Oh, never mind. That was a Guardian of the Guild pack. So, see, I've still got this Agony Warp if he plays one of those. Read the Bone's also fine. This card draw can't really compete with ours simply because he's drawing a lot of dead cards. We went bottom, so you could tell like there's a lot of cards in the deck that just are bad. Do you have to decide here if he plays a Core Skyfisher? Okay. If he played a Core Skyfisher, I'd have to decide if I wanted to exclude it or like bounce this thing or something. I'm going to Teachings for actual counterspell, I think. I could just Teachings for Teachings, yeah. I've got enough mana here. Just going to go ahead and do that. Alright, Island, pass the turn. Even Riftwatcher is dead. So you can see why I don't really care about those. They dealt me 4 damage each and killed themselves. So I took 4 from each of those and then one from the other guy. So I'm going to let this resolve. It's going to deal me 4. But it's not that scary. I'm just going to Echoing Decay it. The end of turn, and then I'm going to Teachings for... I'm going to go in Teachings for Counterspell. I assume he's just going to Dome me for 4. Unfortunately, I haven't found any way to gain life yet. I could probably just end this game right now by casting Teachings for Crypt Incursion, but I do want to get the... Maybe I should just do that instead of getting the counterspell. That'd probably be smart of me to do. Alright. Teachings. Just gonna grab Crypt Incursion, I think. I'll just grab counterspell, and then next turn I'll grab the Crypt Incursion with this Teachings. Just trying to make sure there's nothing that can go wrong. Like, if he has a way to destroy this, he could get a lot more turns. I don't think he does, but you never know. These decks, they could be playing all kinds of weird stuff. So I'm thinking about sideboarding for this deck. Probably going to want to bring in my Duresses. I think, man, just a lot of dead spells on both sides of the matchup. Just gonna go ahead and try to hit my land drop for next turn. Okay. So I don't know if he knows my list. It's possible I don't want him to know that I have Crypt Incursion. Yeah. I'm not gonna let him know that. It would end the game here, but I don't think there's anything my opponent can do here to get around what I have going on. There's some of the removal spells and stuff that don't do anything. Probably got a handful of them, to be honest. Pestilence is a little annoying, but it's just 5 damage. It doesn't actually kill me. I'm going to go ahead and let that happen. If he casts like a Dark Ritual, I'll counterspell it, I guess, but there's no way this deck is playing Dark Ritual. Yeah, let's go ahead and always yield to that. I'm not worried about it. He's just going to pop me for 5 here. Alright, well, now it's getting a little scary, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that Crypt Incursion. Just to be sure, I'm just going to cast it right away. Going to gain 42 life. So, no way Tiny Tim can come back from this. I will probably let just about everything resolve. This matchup should be pretty easy for us. At least game one is going exactly how I would expect it to. Just none of their, like, most of their spells don't matter at all. They get a lot of removal and just, I don't know. The creatures aren't the most efficient or anything like that. Hopefully he makes himself the Monarch here. Speed this up a little bit. Yeah, sure. You can deal me 6 if you want. I don't know if he's just trying to take my clock or what, but he's behind on clock right now at this point, and I've already auto-yielded to all the Pestilence triggers, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah. Okay. So on to the sideboard. Yeah, I guess he didn't see me. He didn't see me gain the life, so he thought that the 2 damage was enough. Our deck's already pretty good in this matchup. I don't know exactly what his sideboard looks like. I didn't see any Thorns that game, just the Palace Sentinels, which is interesting. For my money, Palace Sentinels are better, but I guess with Pestilence, or the Thorn is better, but with Pestilence I could see it being the other way. I think I'm going to try to bring in my Deep Analysis if I can. And then he's got a lot of 2/3s and 1/2s and Crypt Rats and stuff. Not a lot of stuff that gets hit by Shrivel or Echoing Decay. Nothing really to hit with Dispel or Hydroblast or anything. I might want these Relics. The problem with Relic is it makes my Crypt Incursion bad. But I'm guessing he's going to have something with the Graveyard and the sideboard. It's hard to say, though. I would like to maybe cut a Disfigure or 2. They just don't kill much. All they really kill are those Thraben Inspectors. And I don't know how much I want to rest. It's nice to snag a Pestilence. And it's kind of nice to hit some of those card draw spells. So we go ahead and do that. He's going to have removal from my Curse. So I kind of want to take that out. But at the same time, he's going to probably have discard spells for my Justice. So usually I like to take out the Curse in any matchup where I suspect my opponent will be able to kill it. And that would be true of this one as well. But it is a little tough when you play against a black deck. There aren't really very many black decks that can also remove a Curse from the table, because it's hard to protect Evankar's Justice for long enough with from duresses. Like if they just have 2 duresses, it's going to be tough to save my Evankar's Justice. Just going to go ahead, I think, and take out 2 Disfigures and bring in the Deep Analysis and a Relic. And the Repeal didn't look that impressive. I think I'm going to take out the Curse. Evankar's Justice feels... no. I'm not really sure what to do against this deck. I might just go with this. I really want to have a lot of counterspells available. Yeah. I haven't seen anything from his deck that is in any way scary to me, so I'm just going to stick with what I have now and maybe change later. I'll keep this. It's not amazing because I don't have double blue at all, but it's really bad to mulligan against the... it's really bad to mulligan against a deck that is probably playing discard spells. So if I get hit with the Knight's Whisper here, I think I'm going to discard the Think Twice and the Deprive probably. I'm actually not positive. Go ahead and run out the island. It's possible I should have played the island in the first turn, just so I could play Counterspell or Deprive if I hit an island, but that's not what happened. So, not sure what he could play here that would really matter to me. Pretty much nothing. Plays a Crypt Rats, obviously I don't care. Don't care about that at all either. Not going to kill it, not going to Doomblade it or anything, I'm just going to Think Twice. Alright. So, I want to play this out. We are going to be in trouble if he drops a Palace Sentinels here. It's going to be really hard for us to beat a Monarch token. Yeah, looks like he's got it. So that's pretty unfortunate for us. It's going to take a lot for us to beat that. That's one of the disadvantages of our deck, is that our mana base is a little clunky. I'm going to go ahead and Doomblade the Palace Sentinels. Gonna have to kill it eventually. So I was considering taking out the curse, just because I thought maybe he'd just mill himself with this thing. But we'll see what all happens here. Obviously I have no way to take the Monarch back from our opponent, so if he keeps hitting land drops and creatures and stuff, it's gonna be kinda rough for us to come back here. Should probably just attack me first, see what I do. Obviously I'm doing nothing, don't care about this thing at all. He plays a Skyfisher, I'll probably counter it. I don't want him to pick this up and replay it. I want this to just die of natural causes. Alright. What you got, Tim? What you got? Wow. I'm very happy to see Read the Bones come out of our opponent. That spell is not important at all. So he went bottom and top. Thraben Inspector is a little annoying. So unfortunately I can't use my Sorcery Speed edicts because the Rift Watcher will still be in play. But I think that's alright. I'm going to go ahead and always yield to that thing, and then I'm going to think twice. It's definitely not correct to always yield to that, but I'm not really worried about it. I don't want to play this because I don't want to discard this turn. Also, I want to pick up my Radiant Fountain with it. So, I'm going to get that down. This is still going to be a pretty tough one for us to come back from, unless I draw my curse pretty soon to put them on a little faster clock. He's just drawing so many cards every turn. We can keep up with his card advantage pretty easily normally, but the Monarch is a little hard. Duress, I'm just going to let Duress resolve. Not worried about him taking any of this stuff. The only way I would counter it would be with Counterspell, and I think that's probably what he's going to take anyway. Maybe take Crypt Incursion, it's like a unique effect for my deck. And it will gain me a lot of life. But I'm not going to cast Counterspell just to protect my Crypt Incursion and leave myself open to whatever happens next. Yeah, he just took the Counterspell anyway. So, the benefit of doing it this way is... Okay, Wall of Hope is fine. That's just another... I mean, I might have to Edict it away, but... I don't know if this should still be in his deck, but he might have a lot of dead cards that he can't get rid of. So, now basically we're in the same spot as before, except now I can... might as well deprive this, I think. Yeah, why not? Just don't give him the option to take my deprive. So the benefit of not countering the first one was that I could do what I wanted for the rest of the turn. Alright, I drew a curse right when we no longer have any way to protect it. I think, just going to run it out there, though. He kind of knows I don't have anything. Gonna have to get a little lucky to win this one, I think, after he got the turn 4. After he got the turn 4 Sentinels down. So if he can't kill this for a couple turns, we're going to be in great shape. But if he can just kill it here, we're going to be in big trouble. Kind of looks like he's going to kill it right now with a... I assume he's playing like Core Sanctifiers. It looks like what he's trying to tap out for, or tap 4 mana for. No, Guardian of the Guild Pact. Okay. I'm not really very scared of that. Be nice to hit an Echoing Decay or a Teachings would be a great draw. That's not exactly a Teachings in that it is not a Teachings at all. Let's go ahead and just cast Innocent Blood, and then I'm going to pick up the Radiant Fountain. This leaves me enough mana to still cast my Crypt Incursion if I need to. We are getting to get quite a few creatures in the graveyard at this point, and he's going through 4 cards a turn, so we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures in the graveyard at this point. Another Thraben Inspector, kind of annoying. It's probably, in my opinion, it's the best card in this deck because this deck I think is playing a lot of cards that aren't very good, but some people like that deck. I could also use an Evankar's Justice, would be good too. I could clean up these Inspectors, and then I would be able to Edict this guy away later. Alright, see what he's got here. 4 mana for Pestilence, okay. Gonna ping me for 1. No, not gonna ping me for 1, interesting. So I drew the Relic, which is a pretty bad draw. I don't wanna... Alright. Looks like Tiny Tim is out of here. Well, so we lost our opponent. I'm not sure. Let's see what we would have drawn in our next couple draws. Alright, I do think just with drawing the Evankar's Justice, we would have been in very good shape to win this game. So I wasn't going to cast Edict here because I didn't want to tap too low on the Crypt Incursion. And then, so let's see, I would have taken 1 at the end of turn here, been to 15, and then he would have hit me for 2 more. The thing is, I could have cast the Justice not with buyback, and then I could have Crypt Incursion, and I would have gained like 20 life. So as long as he didn't have any way to, kill my curse, there's no way he could have raced me. But if he was able to kill my curse, I would have lost, and I was a little ways away from drawing a card to protect it. I guess Moto won't let me see any more cards, but I don't know, I think we would have gotten there, but it's hard to say for sure. Alright, I guess with a little bit of a disappointment, we are 1-0. I'll see you guys back for round 2.